Courtesy of our great friends at MyFitnessPal. Take advantage of home court. Blazers are now dropped to 3-17 on the road against teams over 500, Fezzi.
I mean, this is what you're supposed to do. Don't play with your food, Bonte. I said that before the game, and the Warriors did a great job taking advantage of the game and hitting a lot of shots to push them through tonight.
Now, Mully, the turnovers got out of control in the second half. 12 of their 18 committed in the second half. Game got a little sloppy, but the first half they set the tone with only 6.
Yeah, but points off turnovers, 25-17, a +8. The Warriors would take that every night.
And Anthony Simons did his best to get the Blazers back into the game. They were down 94-90 at one point after being down double digits. He got hot in that third quarter, scoring 13 of his 32. So Simons, a fine young player, but it was a little too late for the Portland TrailBlazers as they got hot late. He did score 43 in that third quarter, something Steve Kerr will probably point to during this film session over the next week here. But defense causing havoc here for the Golden State Warriors. They're getting out running. They're diving all over the floor here, Fezzi Fell, and playing good. Look at the points off turnovers. They continue to dominate this category since Jimmy Butler has come aboard from the Miami Heat.
Nothing easy, Bonte. I think the Warriors are doing a great job of forcing turnovers. It's one thing to sit back and try to play defense and get the team to get a stop that way. It's another thing to force them to go where you want to go. If you know a guy is left-handed, you make him go right. If you know a guy wants to pass, you're jumping in the passing lanes. You see everyone is anticipating. I thought the Warriors did a great job with 16 steals tonight. 16 of the 19 turnovers came from steals that the Warriors had and forced them into.
Yeah, and I like Moses Moody's post-game comments where he was talking about basically knowing the scout report, knowing the personnel you're playing against, and how to play that particular player. We saw him last game strip Cade Cunningham. He had played against him in high school, just having that knowledge. So you think about the Warriors on the defensive end with Draymond, Steph, Jimmy Butler, Kevon Lee, all that experience. Now, I feel like the younger players have a better feel around the league who they're playing against. They're not overreacting to an open shooter. And if they do close out, they're not giving up middle. I just think they're doing a much better job on the individual defense, scouting report-wise, and as a whole, it's made them a much better team defensively.
No doubt about that. Let's take a look at the final team stat comparison for tonight. The numbers are staggering offensively for the Dubs. 53% shooting from the floor, 51 from the three-point line, 35 assists, 16 steals, Fezzi Fell. They're in the cookie jar right now.
Yes, but you know I'm a stickler, Bonte. I need those rebound numbers up. And yes, 5 block shots I love.
You want to go 50, 40, 90 once in a while as a player? They went 50, 50, 90 as a team.
That's pretty impressive as they beat the Blazers for the 8th consecutive time. Let's hear from the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, presented by BMW.
Do you think the GP2 shooting from 3 that way is a product of the way the ball's moving? Is he just got some really good looks? And what does that mean when he's making threes like that?
Nobody's going to guard him at the three-point line. So he's going to be open every game, and he works hard on his three-point shot. And tonight, obviously, it was falling. He had a great game at both ends. He's been playing at a really high level for weeks now, and it's exciting to see.
You were saying before the game that, he would sort of help Jimmy with orchestrating the offense.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like almost the other way around at times, where Jimmy was feeding Gary for buckets.
Right.
Is that just a different dimension, or is that just a one-off? And what do you think of that?
Well, again, everyone's going to guard Gary the same way. They're going to sit off of him and sit in the paint or double Steph. And so he's going to be open from the three-point line every game. And so tonight, we had him handling the ball quite a bit to initiate the offense. And then he would, receive it on the back end because they were overplaying everybody else. So it was just a product of their defense.
Steve, how fun was it to see Butler do a little bit of everything and even offensive rebounds and just creating and the ball moved well, a lot of balance on the score sheet.
Great basketball player. I mean, just he does everything. He does everything well. He sees the game. He's strong. Loves to pass. The game just flows when he's out there, and he feels it. Whatever the game calls for, Jimmy brings, and he's the main reason that things have turned for us. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league, and he makes everybody else around him better.
Do you have an issue with him taking that shot?
With what?
An issue with him taking that shot late. I think you guys were up big, and he took that shot. Looked like you might have had some words with him after.
With who?
With Jimmy.
I had
a
words
late jump
with
shot. I don't know. I saw you talking to him right after the game.
Oh no, I told him we don't do shot clock violations. So if there's a shot clock differential, we always shoot. So at the end of the game, he caught it and he looked at me and I said, shoot. And he said, okay. And he shot it. And some teams take the turnover. I just don't believe that you should ever take a turnover. And I don't think anybody should be offended if you take a shot, if there's time on the shot clock. If the shot clock's off, then you run out the clock. So I was just clarifying with Jimmy. I just said, we don't take turnovers here. We shoot. And he said, okay, I got you.
Well, quickly here. The gamblers out there who had the Warriors at -12 were very pleased with that decision to let Jimmy Butler shoot that shot because the Warriors were covering the spread at that point. And then they didn't cover the spread. We'll show why a little bit later. But all the gamblers out there love Steve Kerr's answer.
I got none on that.
Yes, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't take the turnover.
But I do agree with him, though. I agree the fact, I get the whole, I guess it's being a gentleman. I don't understand that. If there's time on the clock, why would I take a turnover? I'll shoot the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's like when you're down 20 and somebody gets offended when they take a layup. Like you had 48 minutes to take care of that. The last shot of the game's bothering you?
Right.
You got blown out for 47 minutes. The last second's actually bothering you? Relax.
Relax a little bit. Now time for our Chase alley-oop. And check this play out here. Draymond Green.
Get up, Bird!
Two. Woo. He can get up.
Max for the rest of the season?
Why not? Gary Payton II's crazy enough to do it, too. We love GP2.
Hey, if it's working, don't change it.
I mean, he may get fans to start wearing masks in the game.
Put his number on it.
Why not?
Color it.
Headband over the mask. That's tough. I love it.
There's somebody in the marketing department right now thinking about making some money. So
put the 0 on the front.
The 0 on the front or young glove across of it. You come in with a mask.
So the mask of Zorro, the mask of Zero. Wow. Marketing.
Marketing genius Bonte.
No. The heck with the Warriors. It needs to be us, NFL. We need to get paid, baby. But no, seriously. You heard Steve Kerr in those comments saying they're going to leave GP2 open. They're going to leave Draymond Green open. They're going to force the non-quote-unquote shooters to shoot the ball. And that's, when you think about the playoffs, that's what we're going to see there, Mully.
Yeah, and what Steve Kerr is preparing his team for exactly that. Playoff time when the defense is going to load up on Steph, they're going to load up on Jimmy Butler, and those shots are going to be there. A lot of the shots that these teams yield because of Steph Curry's gravity, you couldn't, in 100 years, you couldn't draw a play up to get that open shot. So it's really important, GP2, Moses Moody, Draymond Green, on down the line, knock them shots down to make that defense make adjustments.
They're getting confident in doing it.
Listen, to win in any level of sports, you have to have the whole team buying in. This is when you're a team sport. And so GP2, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski when he comes back, Jonathan Kuminga, all these guys are going to have to hit shots and make the defense honest. That's the way that Steph Curry gets open. That's the way Jimmy Butler gets open. And those guys can do their damage. But I love the way that Jimmy Butler is starting off the game becoming a facilitator because he also understands that he needs the bench to be able to be effective.
But I do think, Bonte, it's a different shot when that ball's moving and you're in rhythm as opposed to the ball's kind of stuck and you feel you're just standing there. I felt like GP2 was in really good rhythm on those open threes. And then he had a bunch of other points as well. So it wasn't just his three-point shot.
21 of 41 from the three-point line as a team. Their best shooting night from the three-point line in a few weeks here. And the Warriors are rolling right now. 5 games in a row. They hold on to the 6th spot in the Wild Western Conference. We'll take a look at the Wild West on the other side. Rockets in H-Town taking on the Orlando Magic at the Toyota Center. Dylan the Villain. Rockets up 5. Late first half. Look at the pull-up Jay.
Shot.
Dylan Brooks. Rockets up 7. Fourth quarter coming up here with the Rockets up 13 in full control. Look at this shot right here by Jabari Smith Jr. He's back after an injury. Hits a 3 to extend the lead to 16. Later on in the fourth, Rockets up 13. Again, if he can hit this shot consistently, look out for the Houston Rockets.
That's a good win for the Rockets.
A throwback game. Both teams fail to score 100, but the Rockets do win by 13 as we go flying above the rim, courtesy of OAK.
Who is it?
It's Jaja from the Memphis Grizzlies.
Showtime.
Lord.
Nasty.
That is nasty right there. The Grizzlies in a spicy game here between the Grizzlies and the Suns. Jaja leads them to a 120-118 victory as the Grizzlies try to maintain and get up to that 2 spot in the Western Conference.
The dotted line's easy.
It's so nice, man. When he's healthy, man, he's tough.
And then the brother of Pat Spitzer, Cam Spitzer, he had 15 points tonight. Look at him. Talk to KD. KD's like, I'm not going to have none of that. Desmond Bane gets into his face. KD pushes him. You see John Morant in the back. He's like, yeah. He's feeling it. I mean, look, I love you, Spencer. Let him out here at Chase Center. His mama's great. But you can't be talking easy, buddy. Sniper like that. Ooh, I guess all is fair between the down the lines, right? Between the white lines, I should say.
I get it, but relax.
Ken Spencer, let me not short him. I shorted him a point.
What's happening?
What did KD have? 35 and 5 and 5?
35, 5. Right. Spencer, 16 points. As we take a look at the Wild West Conference standings. There you go, Fezzi. Wake up, baby. Warriors are hold on to that 6th spot there. 3 back of the Houston Rockets, 4 back of the Memphis Grizzlies. You see the T-Wolves right behind the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors do own the tiebreaker over Minnesota. They've been on 3 or 4 times this season. The Clippers with a very impressive win yesterday in overtime. Kawhi Leonard with the buzzer beater against Sacramento. They're now holding down the 8th spot, but if they tie the Warriors, they will own the tiebreaker. Sacramento, last time I checked, was getting blown out by the New York Knicks. They're now 33-30. Dallas did get a win against San Antonio, so there you go. The Wild West. Just gets wilder and wilder.
Yeah, no. My horses is going smooth and steady right now. You know, climbing up the Western Conference. The Golden State Warriors right now, it's all about stacking wins at this point in the season. It's about playing the best basketball. It's about staying healthy. Soon, Jonathan Kuminga is going to join the lineup. Obviously, trying to get Brandon Podziemski back in there. The Warriors are just finding ways to win. But I love the fact that everybody's collectively chipping into the game. You see the steals on the defensive end. You see the made threes. You see everybody sharing the basketball. These are the ways you enjoy winning. This is when you say, when you walk away with a win and say, we got better today. But defensively, I thought the Warriors let go of the rope in the third quarter. This is something that Steve Kerr is going to look at and say, guys, we got to stay locked in and focused throughout the game because these kind of slip-ups can bite you in the butt later in the game.
They're playing great basketball, offensively and defensively. This has been an incredible turnaround with Jimmy Butler. And then, look, the rest of the season, I got a favorable schedule. You need to take advantage of that. As Fezzi said, try and move up the standings as much as you can. And then they're going to have a nice week off to get ready for the playoffs. And then we're going to see what this team is made of. But the way they're trending, to me, Bonte and Festus, this has a feel of a team that's going to get to the Western Conference Finals. And to me, if they get there, that means they're healthy and playing great basketball. And you're never going to bet against Steph Curry.
All right, in our pregame show, we discussed some of the most dynamic duels in the Western Conference. It was the Joker, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, LeBron James and Luka Doncic, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Chet Holmgren. Now we're going to do 3 more right now, and 3 more dynamic duels in the Western Conference that could dictate who represents the West in the NBA Finals.
Ja.
And we just saw Ja. Out in Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr. hurt right now, but having a spectacular season. A defensive player of the year. John Morant is healthy. He looks a little more mature as he's playing some good point guard as he fell. Nobody's talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, and they do have playoff experience.
What I love about this team is they got better even with Ja Morant out. And how they did that was Jaren Jackson really took the year last year to really hone his defensive skills. Offensively, he became an all-star this year. He's scoring from the outside, from the inside. He became a much better, more well-rounded player, understanding how to get his teammates better. These are things that happen when there's an injury, right? You lose your superstar. You try to find ways to get better. Now you add Ja Morant back into the fold, one of the most talented guards in the NBA, most athletic. He can do a bunch of things. You're always excited to watch him play. And now, with both those guys together, the Memphis Grizzlies they're looking scary and dangerous right now, but you just don't know because they're still young. You don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs, but you're looking at them like, if they're healthy, they can make some noise.
A great dynamic duo, Ja and Triple J, inside out attack. JJJ can knock down that three-point shot. His face, he's a good playmaker now. He can play in the post. Great defensive player. But Ja Morant, his athleticism is off the charts. He's just a franchise changer. He had the shoulder injury. He missed some games for off-the-court issues. But when he's on the floor, they're a force to be reckoned with.
No doubt about that. All right, moving on here down to L.A. Not to the Lakers, but the Clippers. The Intuit Dome voice. That's right. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. We saw Kawhi yesterday hit the game winner against Sacramento. Now Kawhi's trying to find his game. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been very impressed with James Harden and the way he's played this season. 22 a game, 6 rebounds, 9 assists to help stabilize that organization. We thought the Clippers would be in the box. They've been holding down the top 6 spot for a long time now, and they're just a game behind the Golden State Warriors, Bully.
I'm with you, Bonte. I'm so impressed with James Harden, remaking his game from the Houston days, playing point guard position, creating for his teammates. He just had 50 points recently. Dynamic player. And really with Kawhi, it's all about health. If he can stay on the floor, be healthy, I think with that Clipper roster, they have a lineup full of mismatches that they can take advantage of. Ty Lue's a great head coach, can exploit the other team. So Kawhi's health is the most important thing for the Clippers.
I have been so impressed with the way Kawhi can come back into the fold, into the lineup. I've been missing a ton of games and be as effective as he is. He just hit a game winner last night, against the Sacramento Kings. He is one of those guys in the NBA, obviously with his length, his athleticism, his ability to play defense, those big hands. He's a force defensively, but he's also a mismatch offensively. He can post you up. He can get out to the three-point line. These are all the things, but health for him has always been a big factor. Him paired up with James Harden, that's a scary duo. This is a seasoned, scary duo that can make a lot of noise in the playoff if healthy. That's just a big if.
And you throw in Norman Powell, who's had an all-star season, and Zubac
has been
so
balling.
They're a big-time threat.
And now we get to the duo right here.